Awesome. So to kick things off, I do start with the
Yeah.
same boring ass question. It's a simple introduction. Who
Mm.
are you? Little background on yourself, especially with you having the interesting history that you have.
Yeah. Okay. Well, for starters, my name is Taylor Acorn. Yes, Acorn is actually my last name. I know it's a shock to a lot of people, but I was birthed with that, and now here we are. But yeah, I come from a really small town in Pennsylvania. Graduated with about 100 kids. I'm the only one in my family that was like super musical, like within my own immediate family, and just grew up listening to all of that like old 90s early grunge rock stuff like that. That's kind of what my wheelhouse was in. And then, as I got older, found pop punk and just fell in love with it. I am a huge fan of like Mayday Parade, Neck Deep, Story So Far, all of those bands, and kind of found like a little home within that. And um, tried to do the music thing for a while and kind of ended up as a country artist, which is a little weird. But
Yeah.
yeah, I was a country artist for about 4 or 5 years. And then within the last 2 years, just started doing the pop punk covers on TikTok. And I
Here
just
we
got
are.
really
Yeah.
lucky. Here we are. Now I'm playing pop punk music, and it's been really amazing. I honestly couldn't have asked for a better opportunity and a better group of people to be able to like share my music and writing with. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. No, and I
Yeah.
mean that's exactly how I found out about you. I think it was
Mhm.
the Jamie All Over cover.
Yeah.
I'd seen that on TikTok and I was like, okay, that's cool. And
Mhm.
kind of I showed it to a few people and kind of kept tabs. And then Derek, when he posted about it on Instagram, I was like, all right, she's made it. Like if he's recognizing it, there's something here.
I was laughing. My mom actually, I didn't even know that they had reposted it. And my mom was actually the one, God bless her. She doesn't post anything on TikTok, but she
Right?
has like that creepy, like she comments on everything and
Yeah.
sees everything. She'll like send me posts that other people have tagged me in and stuff. And I'm like, I didn't even know you had a TikTok. Like,
Right.
and she actually sent that to me and she was like, this is so awesome. And I cried because they're obviously like one of my favorite bands. And, to feel like I've kind of come just like so full circle and pre-COVID, I didn't even know I was going to be, playing music anymore. So to be
Yeah.
able to like do that in a genre that I genuinely love and respect so much is just like, is crazy.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. And I,
Yeah.
I think that's the thing with the pop punk and emo community, right? Like
Mhm.
we get shit on a lot. Like we're the outcast, we're the outsiders, whatever. But like if you're in our group, like we will fucking die for you. And I think that's one of the amazing things is like we are
Mhm.
so welcoming, like you
Mhm.
said, you had this kind of country past and then
Mhm.
like started dipping your toes in and it seems like
Yeah.
pretty immediately people are like, "Yes, you belong here. Come on over."
It was like a very strategic thing too. I was like, how am I going to, because I being a fan of pop punk and knowing like how accepting they are, I also know how protective they are of their craft and
Hmm.
of the genre, and they are all about authenticity, and they want to see people who relate to them succeed. And so for me, I was really nervous because I was like such a fan of the music and I didn't want to come off like I'm just a little blonde girl hopping on the pop punk train because it's cool again,
Right.
Like I really didn't want to do that at all. And so I tried to be strategic about it and play, some of like the bigger pop punk hits, but also kind of throw in like Seosin and the story so far and Neck Deep,
Yeah.
and just cross my finger and I was like, hopefully they'll see that I'm like an actual like fan of this music. And I think for the most part they have, but
Yeah. Yeah, I would think so. I mean, I think the thing is, like you said, there's a certain level of authenticity and genuineness that the pop punk
yeah.
community expects out of their artist.
Hmm.
And I think, it's something that we as a community in the pop punk area, like we've grown very accustomed to, like you said, kind of gatekeeping is the toxic word for it, but gatekeeping to
Yeah.
some extent. Like we can see,
Hmm.
hey, this guy's just trying to cash a check, like
Yeah.
that game over here, like
Hmm.
right real life.
Yeah. If I was gonna do that, I would have just stayed in country. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean,
No, I'm just kidding.
kidding,
I'm
but
just
not
kidding.
kidding. I mean, that's really about the only place that money is in the music industry right now.
Yeah, it's honestly crazy. I mean, but I'm just like so much happier doing what I'm doing now, for the sake of my own sanity and mental health.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
and that's something I wanted to touch on too, because you've been
Hmm.
pretty transparent about the mental health side of it, and
Yeah.
you weren't in a great spot pre-COVID and
Hmm.
thinking about
Yeah.
being done with music. Talk a little bit
Hmm.
about that, as far as like the like when you came to that decision that maybe this isn't what I'm going to continue to do,
Hmm.
and then the spark that reignited that passion.
So, um, when I had first moved to Nashville, this is like back in 2017. Like I said, I kind of just like fell into the country world, and to be honest, I didn't even know I could write songs. Like a year prior to that, I was
Yeah.
just kind of like messing around, and I would send stuff to my sister, and she'd be like, "This is really great," but I never would really put it out there or like play in front of other people. I would play covers and stuff like that, but nothing of my own. And so doing that, I was just super nervous in general. And then once I wrote like my very first EP, and that's like the very first music that I ever put out. And it did pretty well. I got signed to a publishing company pretty much immediately, which was like I'm super thankful for. But I was just thrown in with these artists and writers, and I felt like I kind of lost touch with who I was as a songwriter, as
Yeah.
an artist, and I felt so weird because I was like writing all of these country songs, and I'd hop in my car and I'd listen to like these super emo, like, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like pop punk bands. And so I just felt so out of place. And I think that I was just like losing myself within all of that, and was really struggling with my own like identity. And I'm in a new city, didn't have any money. I was just kind of like floundering, trying to like keep a roof over my head, and then like
Yeah.
over here writing with these people that just like didn't really make much sense at all. And I just decided, I was like, I need to take a step back from this. And I was very thankful that my publisher, we were both kind of on the same page. I just didn't feel like I was giving enough of myself to them and what they wanted. And I just didn't ever see it in me, like maybe in the future, but I just didn't see it in myself, that I would be the person to write a number one hit country song. I just like didn't see that at all. And I think they kind of saw it as well.
Yeah.
My head was just not in that place. And so
Yeah.
we decided to part ways. And I started writing with this guy, Dan Swank, who is actually the auxiliary player now for All Time Low.
Hmm.
And writing with him was really awesome because obviously he's very much so in the pop punk space too. So I got to kind of tap back into all of those roots, and listen to the songs that I used to listen to. But I think in doing that, um, I was still a little bit confused because I had built this fan base over in the country space, but really wanted to do the pop punk thing. And so I was just writing songs that were kind of towing the line between the both. And at that time, it just like wasn't working. Like
Yeah.
I wasn't, there was no place that they could stick me on a tour because my music didn't really make much sense. And so my agents were struggling with that. And then I just never really felt connected to my music because here I am like wanting to do like go full force into the pop punk stuff, but I felt one foot in the country thing because I had all of these people in my ear saying, "You need to stay country, you're making a mistake." And
Right.
so I think that alone is just like it took such a toll on my mental health. I was like just confused and not happy. And then COVID hit, and I was like, well, I'm not playing shows. My music isn't connecting the way that I want it to. I kind of have been doing this now for the last 4 years of my life, and I feel like I haven't really made any big strides to where I want to be as an artist. And for someone like me, I've struggled with my mental health ever since I was a kid, and things like that, like it might seem so like minuscule, but like that to me is like the most detrimental thing. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm failing here. I don't know how to get my head above water. And um, my manager, like, obviously, we were seeing all the people on TikTok doing their thing. And I was so against it when I tell you, I was like, I do not want to do that. I'm too introverted. I cannot
Right.
sit in front of a screen and pretend to be like something that I'm not. And so I told him, I was like, if I'm going to post a cover of something or I'm going to post any type of music, it's not going to be a cover of Driver's License or like a hit Justin Bieber song. I'm going to
Right.
do like Mayday Parade or Jamie All Over. And he's like, it's not going to work. And of course, the day that I posted was the day that like the emo talk stuff started popping
Yeah.
off. And it just like sparked a whole like energy in me that I didn't have, and all of these people that were so excited that I hadn't seen like, so excited before, and all of these new fans that were like, oh my god, this is like the craziest thing, it's like country or Taylor Swift is singing Mayday Parade, like, and then I just started doing that literally every single day. I think I posted for like a straight year every day. I think I maybe missed like a couple,
Right.
like a handful, but I was doing covers every single day. And it was amazing because I didn't think that I would ever like see growth as an artist. I didn't think that I would ever like have such amazing fans. And I did before, but I mean, now it's just like to a whole different level that I've never experienced before. And the fact that I can talk about my own struggles and connect with people that way in a way that
Yeah.
I wasn't able to do in country music, it's just like beyond words. Like I can't really even explain it. It's just really
Yeah.
awesome. So yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully that
Yeah. Yeah,
explains
no, I
it.
mean that definitely covered where I was going with all of it, and I
Yeah.
think you're right. Like it's getting better in the country genre as well, with
Hmm.
people being more open about mental health. But like
Yeah.
country's another one of those genres that like it's been such a protected genre for so long that
Yeah.
nobody can be a full authentic person there.
Yeah. And I think too, like there are songs about mental health, but for the longest time it was always kind of masked by like a story or something.
Yeah.
So even though it was speaking on that, there wasn't actually the full like, I'm struggling with this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is something that like at the time when I started writing music again, especially in the new genre that I'm in now, that was like the only thing I knew. I was like, I have literally nothing going on other than the fact that my mental health is absolute shit right now. Like, so I have to write about it. And
Yeah.
now like I'm in a great place. And like looking back on that, it's just like, wow, like these past 2 years have just been absolutely insane.
Yeah, no, and I think that's the beauty of pop punk, and I think you'd agree. Like pop punk, emo,
Yeah.
especially Mayday Parade, like there's a reason their tagline is Mayday Parade is yeah, an emotion. Like
Yeah.
it's a feeling. Like they write the feeling. But I think
Yes.
the thing is like so many people that are fans of that music or that are involved in that music struggle with these things, and they can look at
Mhm.
the other people in the genre and go, you know what, they've been through it too. Like I'll be
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. And it's incredible too, just like going to a show and seeing like just being a fan and seeing all of the different walks of life of the people that you would never even think that you would
Yeah,
listen to the music that's so connected to it. And it's like, all right, we're all so similar. And I feel like we don't give ourselves enough credit for that.
yeah,
And to me, that was something that I respected so much about the genre too. I remember like right before COVID hit, it was actually freaking awesome. Like I got sick like immediately after, but I remember A Day to Remember came to Nashville to play. And I just remember looking around. We were at like the municipal building here in or the auditorium, and I just remember looking around and seeing like frat guys in polos, and then like older guys, and then like girls who dressed like me. And then, like there's
Yeah.
so many different people, and a crowd surfed, and it was just such an amazing, like, it was just, I don't even know, like, ethereal moment. And
Yeah.
for something like that, it's just like a genre, no other genre I feel like can do this, can bring these kind of people together in the same room. I feel like even in country, you see a very specific demographic of people. And I don't know, it was just a different feeling. And I don't
Yeah.
know, I'm very
No,
thankful.
I totally agree, and I actually just
Yeah.
covered the Is for Lovers Fest in
Oh
Ohio. So,
yeah.
that lineup was insane. But like you're saying,
Mhm.
the demographic, like the Descendants headlined the Ohio date. Like they've been around for
Yeah.
40 fucking years. So like
Yeah.
their demographic is not the same as Hawthorne Heights or Real
No.
Friends,
Yeah.
but everybody's just chilling, having a great time, checking everybody
Mhm.
out, and it's again like you know not to put blame or point fingers at anyone, but like the whole Travis Scott incident with
Mhm.
the Astro World thing, like that stuff doesn't happen at our shows, quote
No.
unquote, because like we take care of each other.
Yeah, of course. I mean, and I mean, crowd surfing in general, I feel like so many people give that like a bad rap, like I would never crowd surf.
Yeah,
But for me, it's like the fact that you have all these people making sure that this human is being held up and you're not letting them drop, like that says so much
yeah,
about this genre in general. It's like, it's not like a weird, like sexualized thing at all. It's like genuinely people caring about this other person, making sure they don't fall on their head and die. Like,
right.
I don't know. Yeah, we're not trampling each other. And I went to Four Chord this past weekend in Pittsburgh to see our friend Dan play. And
Hmm.
that was like our first time seeing him like in a festival setting, and um, which was really cool. But just like seeing the artists and like making sure that like the group of people are like backing up off of the rails and stuff. And I don't know, it's just like
Yeah,
different, it's a different energy, and it's something that I just like appreciate so much.
yeah,
So,
and I think
yeah.
too like with this genre and festivals especially like walking around Ohio Is for Lovers or Warped Tour back in the day, like you're
Mhm.
literally bumping into musicians. Like
Yeah.
I I literally ran into one of the guys from Emory after they got off
No.
stage at Ohio Is for Lovers, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, hey man, great set." And he's like, "Thanks. I'm gonna go
Thanks. Yeah.
sell merch. Like, if you want to come by." And I'm like, "Okay,
Come
cool."
on over.
And
Yeah.
like country or pop in general, like they play
Oh
their
my,
show and they're out of the way.
yeah. My cat
Visitor.
is, I know. She, every single time I do one of these, she's like all up in my space. I'm like,
Yeah.
can you just go take your nap? Like,
I
you're
literally
supposed
have to
to.
shut my cat out of the room so that she doesn't do that.
Well, whenever I like shut her out of my room, she'll be like legitimately digging at my door like a dog, and you
Right.
can hear her claws. And I'm just like, that's almost worse than just
Right.
letting her crawl over everything.
Yeah. Yeah,
But I would
absolutely.
appreciate it if she didn't. She's just too cute.
Yeah, for sure.
But
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, I think that just goes back to what we were saying about how the genre like truly takes care of everyone
Yeah.
involved in it, and
Hmm.
and I think the artists know that, and I don't want to say that like your top 40 or your pop artist don't have the same connection with their fans because
Hmm.
I'm sure like to some extent they do, but like
Yeah.
you I'm sure you can speak to this, the connections you've made through
Hmm.
Instagram and
My gosh.
TikTok and all this, like
Hmm.
there are going to be people at these shows that you're like, I've had conversations with these people. I know these people.
Yeah. It's so crazy to think that too, because for the last 2 years, I've been able to really get to know them. And that's one thing that I really try to do is just stay connected. And whether that's like commenting back on a TikTok, I really try to do all of that. And
Yeah.
there's some people that have literally for the last 2 years, like we'll have conversations with each other, or like we'll keep like running jokes going. And it's just so cool to see that now I can finally meet these people in real life and get to hug them and talk to them. And I don't know, it's just like I don't even think of them really as fans.
Right.
I think of them more as like friends. And we're all just kind of in the same boat, and we like the same kind of music. And that's how it should be, I think. I think it should just we should all like love each other. And I don't know, it's just going to be a really cool thing to see these people finally. And I don't
Yeah.
know, I can't, I like, I've been thinking about it for like the last like month, and it's just, it blows my mind truly that I even get to have this opportunity again. So
Yeah. No, it is. It's incredible. And I think,
oh no.
well, I lost you for a second, didn't I?
Yeah, just a little
Okay.
bit. Yep.
Okay.
You're good.
Uh,
You're good.
so like with this tour, I was saying, I'm from the Midwest. I'm from up in
Hmm.
Indianapolis area.
Yeah.
Real Friends is in Chicago. You're down in
Hmm.
Nashville. Like,
Yep.
so the Midwest vibe is so cool on this tour, and like the fan bases for Real Friends, especially, like, is a such a rabid fan base,
Yeah.
but in the best sort of way. And like
Hmm.
when they switched over to Corey as vocals and all that, like
Yeah.
those fans were so appreciative that like
Hmm.
the band didn't just die
Yeah.
with him with
Hmm.
Don leaving. And I
Yeah.
think that's the thing that'll be great for you to see too. Going out on this tour and having
Hmm.
these fans that are just, oh my god, passionate about what's being created.
Yeah. I think that's going to be awesome too. And yeah, I got the privilege to see Real Friends when they came and they did the Mayday Parade tour.
Hmm.
And I think that just got me even more stoked,
Yeah.
because as much as I love their old stuff, I love their new stuff almost even more. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's really exciting, and for me too to be from the East Coast and never get to play these cities. I don't even know like who's out there. Like
Right.
I've never got to meet these people, and so I'm just really excited. And the first stop is in Pittsburgh too, which is like hometown. Then they added like two other Pennsylvania dates too, and
Hmm.
State College is like actually like right around where I'm from. So all of like my friends from back in the day and stuff are going to be there. I don't know. It's just going to be a really amazing experience. And I think too, with confidence, just announced that it's going to be their last
Yeah.
like hurrah. And just to know that I'm going to be a part of that is, it just feels really special. And I think that people are going to just like, I hope that they're going to love it. And I don't know. Yeah. I'm just really grateful for this experience.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think, it is. It's kind of this, I don't want to say passing of a torch, but it is to some
Mhm.
extent, right? With
Yeah.
confidence kind of leaving the genre and the
Yep.
industry, quote unquote, and then
Yeah.
you kind of coming into the scene and being able to say like, "Hey, I'm not like a replacement for them, but
Yeah.
there is still life here."
Yeah. And I don't know. I think it's, I don't know. I've just been thinking about it a lot. I don't even have any words for it, honestly. I'm like, how did this even happen? Like, what a weird time. And I mean, as sad as it is for them, I mean, I think it's going to be an amazing show for their fans
Yeah.
and for, all of them to have, one last time together. And I don't know. I hope they don't leave forever though, because I'm a huge fan.
Yeah. No,
I would
I
hate that,
agree.
but I know that they all kind of have like their own solo stuff going on, and
Yeah.
so
That's how it works
what can you
sometimes,
do? Yeah, I mean, 10 years, it's got to be exhausting.
Yeah.
It's got to
Well,
be.
and
So,
especially like, they weren't like all-time low level, but
mhm.
they've been pretty much nonstop the 10 years that they've been
Yeah,
doing it. So like it's got to
hmm,
be just such a weight at some point going, are we missing something else, or
hmm,
what could we be doing? um
yeah,
and I don't want that to sound to anyone like I'm saying that they're not like genuine or passionate about what they
yeah,
do.
yeah,
I just
yeah,
think everybody has those thoughts of like, what if,
yeah.
what is
And
there?
sometimes people need the time to just like go out and experience life outside of
Yeah.
that. And especially too, like I can only imagine being a band, and being with the same people all the time. And I feel like you kind of find yourself within those other people. And I think it's super valuable to go out and kind of experiment on your own. I know like Jaden is doing his own solo thing. I um, know their guitarist, I think his name is Scott, right?
Hmm.
You know, he's kind of doing his own thing too, and that's important. You know what I mean? Like, I am a telltale. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes you got to switch it up, and a beautiful thing is going to happen, or maybe it's not, and you find your way back to those people. But I think, especially now, life is just way too short not to like experience other
Yeah,
things. And so,
totally agree. So let's talk a little bit about the stigma around doing covers and then trying to put out your own music, because obviously
yes.
there's so many people that go, "Oh, she's just a cover artist," or Our Last Night gets that rap all the time that they're
Yeah.
just a cover band. But there is obviously a bit of merit to it in the sense that yes, I do covers. But I think
Hmm.
the thing I want to say about your covers are I don't see yours as a true cover. I think you do more of
Hmm.
a reimagining style, which
Yes.
totally changes the song setup. So,
Yes.
if you were going out and playing the exact chords the exact same
Hmm.
way, trying the same inflection, like, yeah, that's a cover. The,
Hmm.
Timmy down at the bar is doing covers. This is a reimagination of what these songs could have been.
Yeah.
Um, and through putting your own spin on it, I think, or I hope for you anyway, that it eases people into your actual music as well, your solo stuff, where they can go, oh, I kind of see where she was coming from on this
Hmm.
song's, like your cover of First Date is another one of my
Yeah.
favorites, and then
Oh, thank
to
you.
to see you coming out with your individual stuff as well. I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, she's
Yeah.
this is where her range is.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know. That's been a very interesting line that I've, you know, been kind of teetering around. And I knew going into doing the covers, I was like, this could be a slippery slope because, like you
Yeah,
said, people can look at me and be like, she does the covers, she's the emo cover girl. Or they can look at me and be like, that's Taylor Acorn, she's an artist. You know, I've been listening to her stuff for a while. And so I think what did kind of help me um, was I was already kind of an established artist going into it. I was in a different genre, of course,
yeah,
but I think there were a handful of people that knew of me from like the country days. And so when I started doing the covers, there were a lot of people in the comments that would say like, "Oh my gosh, like I listen to your music and blah blah," which other people see that and then they go to
right,
Spotify and stuff like that, which is like such a godsend from the TikTok realm because it's the most organic reach that I've ever seen as far as like people going from that video to go listen to my music. And honestly, I feel like I kind of got really lucky in that sense too, because people were going and hearing my covers and being like, wow, this is really cool. And then going and listening to my actual music.
yeah,
And I don't know, it's really interesting. The I didn't really have any rhyme or reason behind doing them at all. And I did so many. And like I said, it kind of got to a point where I started to become like the emo TikTok cover girl
yeah,
on that. And I've had a lot of conversations with my manager where it's like, all right, I need to start like somehow kind of like sprinkling my own music in here. And I would like share old demos of things or new demos. And so I try to do it to where it's like, now I will post like a cover and then like post like 4 TikToks of like my original music and then a cover and then
yeah,
like, you know, I try to sprinkle it in a little bit and not just have it be like, here are all my covers and then here's a random song that I wrote,
right,
you know?
right.
So I try to do it that way. But yeah, it's so interesting you call it reimagining because I've always been such a sucker for like the nostalgicness of, is that even a word? Nostalgicness?
We'll say that it is.
It is. It is in my dictionary, you know.
Yeah,
But I'm such a sucker for how nostalgic the songs that I've covered are. And so when it comes to like the melodies and things like that, I don't try to change it up too much
right.
because that's always been such a fucking pet peeve of mine when somebody takes a song and like totally just like changes it. Like, no
Yes.
offense if somebody out there is listening to this and they like have done that, like no tea, no shade towards you at all. I just personally am not a fan of that. And so I try to keep it as like to the original, like melodically as I can. But I think, you know, just slowing it down a little bit and kind of giving it a different feel, to me has been so fun because it makes you kind of look at the songs in a different light. And a lot of these songs are so up tempo too. So it's
Yeah.
like people probably don't even think about them in a way that I was like, you know, covering them. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's really interesting too, because I've heard that a bunch of times of people just saying like the way you reimagined this, but I try to keep it pretty like to
Yeah.
to the
Yeah.
original. Just yeah, I don't know. It's been so fun though, and like seeing people get so excited about hearing those songs like that too. Like I will say, when I did the Blink 182 one, that was the first time I had really seen, knock on wood, like a ton of hate. Um, I got
Yeah.
a lot of heat for that one.
Yeah.
And that was a bummer. And I think that kind of like took the enjoyment out of doing the covers uh, for me a little bit. But
Yeah.
I mean, now I just try to focus more so on my own music and, you know, I'll throw in a cover here or there. But after that one, I've been kind of scarred.
Which is ironic because it is my favorite one, but
Yeah, it's
like
just so interesting. Yeah.
I I think part of it is, and I guess it's ironic for me because I grew up, I'm a huge Blink fan myself.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
like I should be protective of their music, but at the
Hmm.
same time like I don't think you did anything wrong with it. You know what I mean? Like it'd be different if, like you said, it was a total reimagination and you were like, "You know what? Fuck Mark's guitars. I'm going to do this." And like, "Okay, sure." But all you did was take it down to like half tempo and
Yeah, and
sing
put an
in a
acoustic
different
guitar.
octave. Like
Yeah, that one was really wild. I sat in my bed for a few days after that, and I was just like, I just I can't do these anymore. Like I can't,
right.
and it sucks because there I do get a lot of messages from people being like, when is like the next state, you know, EP coming out and stuff, and I just don't never know what to say. I'm just like,
Yeah.
it's coming. Like, one will come eventually, but I just needed a break after that for a little
Yeah.
bit. I just didn't expect, especially being a fan of Blink 182 myself and seeing people just totally take it in a way that was just like so not intended to be. I don't know,
Well,
scarred
and
me a little bit.
especially like not to shit on anybody, but if you go on YouTube, there are some terrible fucking covers or like attempts at covers of their music, and it's like, why is this the one that you're gonna take a stand on?
Yeah, I mean, I can also kind of see where they're coming from too. You know, here's this little blonde girl coming in, jumping around, being like, "Have you heard of this song?" Hee hee hee. Like, and that my delivery, I probably should have approached it differently.
But to be
But
fair, me, I'm an elder emo. Like that song is legitimately 15 years old. Like
I
there
know,
are people that don't know it yet.
I know, and that's the thing is I was like, you know, do you remember this? And that was the one comment, like, do I remember this? The song, blah blah. I'm like, the song came out like 20 years ago, so I mean, I would assume that maybe people haven't heard it in a while, but I just like, oh,
Yeah.
that was rough. That was a rough time for me. But we recovered and you know, back better than ever,
Yeah.
kind of.
Getting there.
But we're
It's
getting
a
there.
process,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a slow little incline, but we're getting there.
Yeah. Something that you could do for your next one, now that you're immersing more into the genre and whatnot,
Yeah.
maybe, I don't know. I feel like some people would probably shit on it, but getting with some of these artists and doing like duet versions would be a really
Oh,
cool concept. You know, like having
yeah.
Derek come on and do a duet version
Hmm.
with you would be insane.
That would be amazing. I like freaked out when John from the Main when I did
Mm-hmm.
Into Your Arms and he kind of sang along with it. Obviously, it was in a very country twang, but I was like, wow, this is so cool. And I've definitely thought about that, you know, reaching out to the guys from like Red Jumpsuit and doing something
Yeah.
with them, and because that was a cover that Your Guardian Angel I did, and that was one that I really loved. Or like trying to maybe reach out to like Jimmy Eat World and stuff. But I kind of feel like I don't know. I get nervous about stuff like that because I don't want to be, intrusive. I'm
Right.
still very new, fresh on the block. I don't want to be like all up in their
Yeah.
DMs and stuff, being like, do this with me. But yeah, I think it could be fun. I mean, even like Pierre from Simple Plan, like that
Hmm.
would be so cool. Um, and those guys are so dope. But I will say, like, the people that I've been able to meet doing these covers, I'm just like,
Yeah.
it's been
It's insane,
crazy.
right?
It's been crazy. And like, I never thought that I would ever be in this position where, you know, that stuff happens. And Derek and I wrote with him actually a couple weeks ago, and I was like, how is this even a real life scenario? Like, I feel like it was just yesterday I was sitting in my bedroom crying to like Tales Told by Dead Friends, and you're here in the studio with me. I'm like, I don't know how to play it cool.
Yeah. No, and
But
I think that's the thing too. You mentioned earlier the songwriting circles in Nashville and
mhm,
whatnot, and like it's insane. Like people that aren't in the industry or especially in that area,
mhm.
like there are big fucking names in some of those rooms, and to be sitting there going, "Hi, I'm new. I think I have something for you."
Yeah. And it's so weird too. I mean, I even was thinking that like in the country world too. Like, granted, I'm not like a huge country fan. I grew up listening mostly like the early 90s country, like Garth and stuff like that. But for me, like seeing like the guys from like Lady Antebellum and stuff, I
Hmm.
was like, this is so weird. Like, this is an everyday thing for these people, and they're just so unfazed by it. I was like, how do you just like keep your cool? Like, how are you not nervous like
Right.
going into these rooms? And like even just like, going into a public place, like you run into somebody and it's like they're so normal, but like, you don't typically get to see them in that habitat.
Yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
weird.
No, it definitely is, and I think that's the thing for kind of what we said about like festivals with the pop punk realm. Like
Hmm.
it feels like they're more accessible,
Yeah.
in our genre, if we will.
Uh-huh.
Whereas like a country star, even though they're just getting groceries, it's like, oh, but they're still, that's still John Party. I can't go over to them, or
Yeah, you can't
that's
just
still
like
Morgan Wallen. I can't just walk over and say, hey.
yeah, it's a really weird place that we're in, and I don't know. I tend to forget it. I'm a big homebody, especially these
Yeah,
days. So when I do run into somebody, I'm like, whoa, this is like really weird. But
yeah, I'm
I'm sure, yeah,
totally the same way. Totally the same way.
fangirl. Are you in Nashville also?
No, I'm
Oh,
just an hour north of Indianapolis, but I've been
oh no.
down
Oh
and
yeah, you said that. I'm
done
so
stuff
sorry.
down there. So no, you're all
Yeah.
good. Um, so let's transition into the original
Yeah.
works now,
Okay.
because obviously this is a big deal, right? You just I say very recently, about a month ago, dropped the new single "Psycho."
Mhm.
Um, kind of, it's it's a quintessential pop punk song. It really
Mhm.
is. Like it's finally, and I think this is the thing, and it's going to sound semi-sexist, I guess, but
Mhm.
it's finally the girls' side of that story. Like for so long in pop punk, we've had the guys' side of that breakup story, and
Yep.
now we get the girls' side going, "Hey, but no, fuck him. Like this is what's up."
Yeah. Yeah, that song, man, I will say for many months, I was very nervous to release that. I think, especially too, for very obvious reasons, cancel culture is a very prevalent thing. And to me, I wrote it with my friend Spencer Jordan and my other really good friend Phil Barnes. And the day that we wrote it, even like Spencer was the one who kind of came up with the general idea, and then we kind of reworked it and we came up with the tagline like "I'll be a psycho" and stuff. And but I remember when he was playing some of it for me, I was like, I would never put this out. I was like, I
Yeah.
would never say this, like, because usually, I'm very big on like writing about like mental health, and yeah, I do write breakup songs, but I've never written a song that's like, fuck you, like,
Right.
I'm gonna like kill you in my head kind of
Yeah.
thing. You know what I mean? Like I've never in my life have done something like that. And so for me, I was like really teetering with it. And but when we got the demo back, I was like, this is like so different and it's fun. And I
Yeah.
really think that like if people hear it the way I intended to write it, that they could really like get like their like bad bitch energy back
Yeah.
from it, you know? And thankfully, you know, again, I was really nervous to even like share it on TikTok and stuff because like if one thing goes wrong, one person comments something that's negative, it's a whole just like spiral of people
Yeah.
being like, you know what, you're right. This is really wrong and this is really bad and it shouldn't be this. But for me, I was just like, you know, I feel like this is just a song that if you listen to it, you know, you can kind of take away like we're all in the same boat. It doesn't just have to be, you know, about a girl or a guy. It could be about literally anybody in a relationship that's so toxic. And it's like finding the humor in things again. I feel like we've kind of lost that.
Hmm.
And I I just wanted to make that a point. Like, this is nothing serious. It's all a joke. It's all for fun. And I hope that you guys can take away, like, the fact that it's okay to be pissed off and it's okay to, like, you know, think of somebody and you want to punch them in the face. Like, it's not that deep.
Right.
It's
Right.
not like I'm actually going to do those things. But, yeah, I don't know. It's, it's been a really cool, song to see, especially with, you know, the videos that people have been making and you know, I'll get messages from people being like, man, like I've been going through like the worst breakup of my entire life and this has helped me get through it. And, you know, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
For sure. And the way you described it reminded me of a meme that I saw not too long ago, and it was talking about "Before He Cheats" by Carrie Underwood.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know, she goes off on this dude, right? Like slashes his tires,
Hmm.
fucks his whole truck up. But if you actually listen to the words, she says he's probably before every single one of those things, he's probably
Yeah.
out talking to her. Like she doesn't even know
Yeah.
if he fucking cheated, and she fucked up this
No.
dude's truck.
Yeah, for sure. And that's like a comment that I would get too. They're like, you know, this is kind of like a pop punk version of like Before He Cheats or like Goodbye Earl, you
Yeah.
know, by the Chicks. And, you know, I was like, I can get down with that. Okay, if people are thinking this, then hopefully it's
Yeah.
not as bad as, you know, in my brain
Right.
I'm thinking it could be, you know? So,
Yeah. No,
yeah.
I don't think you missed the mark on it. I think it's
Well,
it's
thank
it
you.
placed exactly where it needs to be.
Good, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a fun one. Yeah, I don't know. It's out there. It's living in the world now, so I can't really take it back if it did.
No, no, unfortunately not. And that's, you know, like you said, the world we live in, you know, there's so much
Hmm.
cancel culture, and it's like I think the big problem I have, not to get super like societal on this, but like
Hmm.
the problem I have with cancel culture is there's so much immediate knee jerk reaction, and we never ask for the other person's side of the
Right.
story. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, we're just taking that accusation at will, and it's like, but hold
Hmm.
on, we don't even know what really fucking happened here.
Yeah. And that I think that's the thing that scares me the most too is like I as a person like I care so much about what other people think and what they feel and I would never want to be the cause of somebody's like emotional trauma or like try to harm them in any way and so I I will say I had so many moments where I would just like text my co-writers and be like, we can't put this out. Like I like literally like cannot do this. And you know, they talk me through it and they're like, it's okay. Like, you know, some people are gonna like it and some people aren't. And that's the price you kind of have to pay with anything that you put out. Like it's not gonna be everybody's cup of tea. And um yeah, it's I just knew going and I was like, it's probably gonna ruffle some feathers. And you know, I do get the occasional messages from people that are like, if a guy put this out, like it would never fly and I'd get canceled immediately. But it's like, you know, art is art and it's a way of self-expression. And if you can express yourself in a song, then what's the point of even writing it, you know?
Right.
So that's
Yeah.
kind of where my thought process was. And I was like, And also I watch a lot of true crime and like listen to a lot of podcasts and stuff. And I was like,
Yeah,
it's not bad to think this
no,
way sometimes.
yeah, no, especially in the world we live in, and
Yeah.
that comment that oh, the double standard. If a guy put
Hmm.
this out, like that annoys me so much because if you look in the pop and rap realm, like Cardi B with WAP and
Oh,
like some of the Meg The Stallion stuff, like if a guy wrote the version of that song, we wouldn't it wouldn't even get played on the radio. Like there's
mm-mm.
no chance for it. So
Yeah.
it's a weird societal thing where like it's
Yeah.
acceptable because we're taking like you said the bad bitch energy or whatever,
Hmm.
but at the same time like you just said too, it's art. Just let the fucking artist be
Yeah.
an artist.
Yeah. Like it doesn't always have to be a literal thing. And
Right.
I thought, we wrote it in a hypothetical way where like whenever I listened to it, especially at first, I fully believed. I was like, there I feel like this is very much so catering to a certain demographic of man.
Right.
And so unfortunately for them, but it's like the only people that are going to comment on this are people that are probably doing these things and feel a little bit offended. But um I don't know. Yeah, I've just been really happy with the response that people have had, and it's been my like best streaming song so far. And I was like, maybe
Right.
because it is a little bit controversial, but I don't know. It's been really fun, and I'm really excited to play that one on tour too. I
Yeah.
think it's gonna be a rager.
Yeah. Hopefully,
I
I
hope
think that's
so.
the right crowd for it too, because
Yeah.
you've got you that's going to have that kind of in the opening, and
Hmm.
then at the end of the night you've got real friends where that like tell me you're sorry will be a perfect counterpoint for that.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, I think
I should have like one of those guys come and do like a feature verse on Psycho.
yeah, there you go.
So then it's all kind of full circle.
Yeah,
I think that would be cool.
yeah, Corey
But
would probably do that.
yeah. Yeah.
Um, so as you get ready to head out on this tour, like you said, it's
Hmm.
obviously it's your first tour ever, and you're getting to go to a shitload of places, like a shitload of places. Um,
Yes.
the Grog Shop, I mean, if we're talking iconic venues, they're up there.
Hmm.
The Fillmore over in Philly, Canal Club. There's so many places on here that I'm like, for a first tour, you're hitting it. You're hitting
Like
these
the House
spots.
of Blues in San Diego, I'm
Yeah.
like, what? I when I was in college, so I went to school like right outside of Philly, and I went and saw literally so many shows at the Fillmore. So it's just so crazy to feel like everything is
Yeah.
just like coming so full circle. I don't know, it's wild. And I I've never toured the East Coast, so I'm just grateful I even get to get out there and play in front of people,
Right.
honestly. And all of these like really amazing venues and stuff are just an added bonus.
Yeah.
So I could literally be playing to two people, I'd be happy.
And
But
again, though, I think that's the thing in the pop punk realm,
mhm,
is it's the success is measured differently. I feel like
mhm,
because there's not fucking money in the pop punk realm,
yeah,
not not the big commercial money anyway.
yeah,
Uh, but like aside from that, there's like we've said so many times already, the connection that people make to these songs, like
mhm,
it's more important that I play to those two people that fucking care about this music than it
yeah,
is about playing for 50,000 that like
mhm,
one of my songs that got popular. Like who cares?
yeah. And that's kind of the way that I see it too. And I've always been so much about like the passion of music, and I love it so much just as a fan. And so it's like I will go buy a ticket to a very small venue and have like that intimate moment with an artist that I love over going to a huge stadium like you said, and maybe hearing a song that I know. Like that's cool, but it's like for me all I've ever wanted to do is just connect with people and be able to play music. And I've literally, like I said, like I the country world versus the pop punk world, like the pop punk world is definitely more of a grind, but
Yeah.
I feel so much more at peace and at home there. And the people feel just like my friends, and I can, be myself and not have to pretend to be somebody over here. And it's like, yeah, the money's great, but I would rather, you know,
Yeah.
stick it out with these people over here. And I hope that like my fans know that, and the people that come to the Real Friends shows know that. And I don't know, it's always just been something that's really valuable to me and important to me. And I don't know, I've always, expected that of the people that I listen to too. So um, yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know.
No, I totally agree, and it makes me think of, I just saw Charlotte Sands in
Oh
Indianapolis
yeah, I
like a
love
week ago.
her.
She's
Hmm.
amazing.
Yeah.
But she's a prime example of kind of the spot that you're in too, where like
Hmm.
a few things have blown up. She's
Hmm.
definitely on that climb, but I shit you not, there was maybe 100 people at this
Hmm.
show for her, and it's like,
Yeah.
guys, you understand? Like she was with fucking Adam Lazara and John from the
Hmm.
Maine. Like she's a name, but there was
Yeah.
such a small crowd.
Hmm.
But again, to our point, like there wasn't a single person in that crowd that wasn't jumping around singing her songs right
Like knew
back
her
to her.
songs.
Yeah,
Honestly, of all of the artists, and I like told her this too. I'm like such a fangirl of hers. And I think it's so cool too, like also being from the same city and, kind of within that same realm. And I know that there's probably going to be a time or two where people are like, you're trying to be like that. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's hard just to be a girl in the music industry anyways.
right.
Like I don't want to be like that person to say that, but it's very hard. And there's so many artists, like even when you know, like I am not even remotely close to the level of like Avril Lavigne or Hayley Williams, but there's no other females for people to compare you to. And so it's like there's so many comments where I'm like, you sound like this person or you sound like this person. And I don't know. I think it would be so dope to like even do a collab with Charlotte or something,
Yeah,
because I think we're doing the same thing but we're not.
right.
And I don't know. I really look up to her in that. And, the way that she went from the pop world into the more pop punk world, and, the way that she connects with her fans and stuff, I was like, that's really dope. And I respect her a lot. And she's fucking so good. So
Yeah,
I just am like,
yeah. Her live
you do you
show.
go off. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
already had been listening to her, and Tantrum had
Hmm.
dropped like the night before that show, I think. Um,
Yeah, I saw that.
but yeah, it was. I mean, the girl can go, and I think it's
Hmm.
funny though. You mentioned, and you're not wrong, but you mentioned like in this genre, people always go to Haley Williams and Avril, and for
Hmm.
the like, oh, this is who they sound like.
Yeah.
But there are so many of you guys out
Oh,
there. You know what I
so
mean? Like
many.
fucking Chrissy from Against the Current, like
Yes.
you,
Oh, I love them.
Charlotte,
Hmm.
Rivals. I mean,
Lolo,
like,
yeah.
yeah, there's so
Hmm.
many, and it's like if you guys would just open your fucking eyes, there's
Yeah.
so much music here. There's so many
Hmm.
variations, and like it, it's really sad that here we are in 2022, and we're still going, oh, it's a female fronted band. No, it's a
Yeah.
fucking band that has a girl in it. Like, shut
Girl,
up.
yeah. It's definitely interesting. And especially too being like a solo artist,
Right.
and not having a band and stuff like that, I feel like that's almost like a little bit more scary because
Yeah.
it's, they're like back in the day they didn't really have that. And I don't know, I really do. I look up to Charlotte in that sense of her just like really going for it. And me obviously very much so wanting that as well. And it's just so cool to see other females like doing it. And
Hmm.
but like you said, yeah, there are so many other artists too that I feel like even still like don't get the recognition that I feel like they should. Like there's this one band that I really love, Oh Honey Revenge.
Hmm.
They're really dope. And
Yeah.
like there's this band, they're not really pop punk, but like the Foxies, I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but like
Yep.
there's like Julia is an amazing performer. I've like she could literally, I'm like, you go off, like you are amazing. And it's it's so cool to see all of these artists, but still at the same time feel like, you know, well, we have only one like female on this tour,
Right.
one female on, this festival. And I don't know. I hope that that changes, but I'm just like happy that I'm even given the opportunity to do
Right.
it, you know?
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. So the tour is going to take up the next month-ish,
Hmm.
little over a month. What's
Yes.
the remainder of 2022 slash the start of 2023 look like for you?
Oh, definitely more music to come. Have another really cool collab coming in October. Um, I, oh my gosh, I don't even know. Like, I'm hoping to potentially hop on like another tour, maybe go overseas. I don't know. But yeah, honestly, just trying to take all of this just like one step at a time, not get too carried away, not say yes to literally everything and just absolutely kill myself. But um yeah, I mean, I would really love to do like a spring tour in 2023, and it's so weird even saying that.
I
Like
know it
that
is. Yeah.
is sounds so weird to me. But hopping on a spring tour, definitely want to do some festivals this year. I'm like really hoping for like Sad Summer Fest or Is for Lovers and things like that. And I don't know, just trying to just stay busy
Yeah.
and stay thankful
Yeah.
that I get to even do this.
Yeah.
So, I mean, honestly, anything, I'm just like happy, So,
Yeah, absolutely.
yes.
So normally one of my ending questions is when a
Hmm.
new album's coming out, but since you don't have a full album out or coming out right now,
Yeah.
um, the question that I normally ask is, what's the song that you hope people gravitate to, and what's the
Hmm.
song that you think they will? So it's still going to kind of be that question, but it's going to be
Yeah.
about the tour. What song or what band do you think people are going to go the craziest for, and where do you wish that people would pay more attention?
Like on my tour, on the Real
Yes.
Friends tour.
Yeah.
Um, so a song of mine that I'm so excited about. It's a new one. It it's called Certified Depressant, and it is like I don't know, it's just so cool. I like that's like the one that I'm so stoked to play. Obviously, that one and Shapeshifting, that's another one.
Yeah.
Like I really want people to just like go absolutely ape shit for that one. Will they? I don't know, but like crossing my fingers, hoping that they do. Those are like my two favorite right now. Oh my god, I hope they go absolutely insane for every band. I personally am super excited to see the home team play. They have been like one of my favorite bands, I think, for like the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Um, I actually heard their song She's Quiet, the acoustic version, like a couple years ago, and have been like listening to that on loop. And then when they came out with this new music, I was just like, just in a trance with his
Right.
voice. And but yeah, no, I just hope that everybody, like, people just go absolutely insane for the whole thing,
Yeah. No,
you know?
I definitely hope that too. I just was at the I Prevail tour
Hmm.
Wednesday night, and
Who
it
are
was
so
so
great live, by the way. I
they
love
are
them.
insane live. But yours truly opened for them. Another amazing
Yeah.
female singing pop
Hmm.
punk.
Yes.
But it was so incredible to see because they haven't been in the States for a few years because of COVID and
Yeah.
whatnot.
Hmm.
And people fucking showed up. Like
That's
from
awesome.
the very beginning, the room was full, and it was
I
so
love that.
yeah, and that's always been one of my big things on this podcast is I tell people
Hmm.
like go out, see the openers because these
Hmm.
people like not that the headliners aren't busting their ass because they are,
Yes.
but the people that are opening are busting their ass. Sometimes they're
Hmm.
literally driving themselves to the next city, like
Yeah.
they don't have some of these comforts. And it means the world. You never know who you're going to find that way.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that's the scary thing too, being like first to four is like, who is going to be there?
Right.
But honestly, from what I've seen, like just on social media and things like that, like a lot of the people have been tagging me and stuff. And that makes me really excited too. And they're obviously like a lot of my friends and fans are, reaching out being like, I'm coming to like 3 shows and this and that. And I'm like, oh my God, like I've never had that, like
Right.
coming from playing like one-offs in the country world to people who don't really like pay any attention to the opener to having people now being like, I'm coming to like everything. I'm taking a week off work. Like, I think that's really cool. And obviously a lot of these shows now are like starting to sell out. So I like really hope. I was like, I promise I'll give you guys a good show. Come out for
Yeah.
me. It's gonna be great. But yeah, I think that's the most exciting part of it too, is like who is gonna come, like
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, I'm hopeful that it'll be super dope because
Hmm.
I think you deserve it, and that's not me blowing
Oh,
smoke
well,
up your ass.
thank
I
you.
really think that this is, you're in this very unique spot like Charlotte and like some of these
Hmm.
other girls we've talked about where
Hmm.
like the platform's there. It's just a matter of
Yeah.
breaking over that next step, and I think
Hmm.
it's all hell after that in the best
Yeah.
sort of way.
Yeah. And I think this has kind of been this is going to be such an exciting time, I think, for my fans too, because like I said, like the past 2 years, we've just had the internet,
Right.
like I've just, tried to keep up with them and, would text back and forth and I'll, comment with them. And it's just these people, like, I don't even know who would come out to see a show. So I'm just excited in that aspect. And also, too, I think like this is such a good tour for me to be on because my music now isn't too far off. Like I did like a little run with like Hot Mulligan and stuff, and that's
Yeah.
almost like more punk than
Yeah.
I am. Well, it is definitely more like it's like post punk.
Yeah.
Um, but even that, that was exciting too, like seeing my fans that maybe have been country fans from the beginning and then like crossing over with me now and then staying to see the other bands and then like coming after and being like, they were so awesome. Like, I love them, like that excites me more so than them even coming just to see me. I'm like, the fact that you're like gravitating towards these bands now because of maybe a cover that I had done.
Right.
And you know what I mean? Like that, I don't know. That's really cool too. So I'm excited. I'm ready for the most part. Knock on wood, nothing bad happens and I can stay on the whole time. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
We're just
No.
going for it at this point. What do we have to
Yeah.
lose?
Just, grab it by the horns and ride.
Yeah,
Uh,
try our best, anyways.
right. So, for anyone that isn't familiar with you,
Yeah.
we've talked a lot about your social media, but the
Hmm.
kind of my normal wrap up question is,
Yeah.
where can people find you? What's the best way to interact? What platform's the easiest for you? Things like that.
Um, well, I would say probably TikTok is the one that I'm the most active on as far as like, you know, commenting and stuff like that. My TikTok is Taylor Acorn 1 because for some odd reason I wasn't allowed to have my actual name, so I've been stuck with that. But I kind of like it. I'm pretty active on like Instagram and stuff, but I do have like a little text thread. I think there's a number on my TikTok, and I try to stay updated with people over there. And um, yeah, I don't know. I try to be good about it and talk to as many people as I can. Obviously, sometimes it gets a little bit hard with things going on,
Yeah.
but yeah. And then of course listen to Spotify because that's where all of my music is, Apple Music, all that good stuff, Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Again, I appreciate your time, Taylor. I'm looking forward to you getting out on the road. I'm looking at the list. I'm going to talk to my boss tomorrow and see if maybe I can take off the 30th and be at that Cleveland Nights. So we'll
Yes.
we'll see what I can figure out to get up to the
Yeah.
Grog Shop, which, like I said, is such an iconic venue as well. Like, what better place to see it?
I literally I'm just you even saying that, I'm just like, somebody pinch me. This isn't real life.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'm so stoked. So I can't wait to see you. Thank you also for
yeah.
having me. This has been such a pleasure. You're so easy to talk to.
I appreciate
Hopefully
that.
I wasn't all over the place do that. It's the Virgo
No,
in me, you know.
no, I think we're good. I
Good,
think we're good.
awesome. Good,
Yeah, so yeah, we'll keep you posted on when this goes live
awesome.
and everything,
Okay.
obviously. And like I said, definitely going to try to get out and see you at the grog shop
Yeah,
here.
I can't wait. Hopefully, I do not disappoint you.
I'm sure you'll be fine. I'm sure you'll be fine.
Yes.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you
Well,
so
thank
much.
you so much. It was so
Yeah.
nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you.
All right,
All right.
see ya.
Bye.
Bye.